we were talking about this centralization aspect. So as just we have seen the hierarchy of company organization. So here we can see that the at the topmost position, executive director is there. Will be handling all the decisions alone. Like whatever the directions will be given by this executive director, that will be mandatorily applicable to his like lower designations, like finance manager, operation manager, senior manager, admin officer. Everyone is supposed to listen to the director. That is called as centralization. It's the best example. And if I talk about its application, we can have a look at like if I take example of truck company, then truck company totally relies on the central decision. One entity will be there, or one person will be there, or one body will be there, who is going to take care of like all the decisions. So here, whatever the decision will be there by the session courts, the judge of session court can take decision or whatever the cases will be there. So that decision will be the final one. Yes, of course, as per our Indian judicial system, we are having privilege like we can appeal for the decision to the higher courts. But the thing is that session court can take its decision at that time. Then high court or district courts or supreme court, everyone's decision is there. Everyone can give the decision, right? So that is a decentralization. So if I talk about the decentralized example, the best example is our MACDs, right? So in MACDs, actually, if I want to open the MACD, then just I need to go for like buying the franchisee, and it will be my privilege that how many employees will be working under this MACD. Then what will be their wages? Yes, of course. Whatever the food items will be there, that food items should be unique. That because that is the USP of that. But whole and soul, every MACD shop owners will be having their own privilege, like how many employees should be there and how many like how much wages for every employee should be there. That decision can be taken by the individual owner of the MACD, right? So it's not like where will be the topmost the authority is there in MACD franchises, like he'll be having control on that. It's not like that. So that can be the best example of decentralized architecture. So if I talk about the decentralization, then just one and sole thing is that in decentralized manner, the authority or the decision making power, or like whenever we talk about the delegation of authority, is there in the decentralization. But if I talk about like centralized approach, then over there there will be a single person or single entity will be able to provide the decisions on all the cases.
PPT चांगला
Now let's talk about the basics. So in basics, like now intentionally I have gone for like this little bit animated graph. So over here, the left hand side, this one is meant for like centralized architecture. So for example, if this node wants to communicate with this node, then the communication must be established by this central entity. So of course, every node will be able to communicate with any other nodes. But for that period of time, you are supposed to go with the central entity. So it will be the whole and solo. And if there is a failure of this node, if failure of this node is there, then there definitely whatever the communications will be there within the nodes, that will be disrupted. Now, if I talk about this right side diagram, this is called as distributed network, where every node is connected with every other node. So there is no central entity. There will be direct communication between the nodes. That is the distributed network. Why I have shown this diagram? Intentionally, it's been there because blockchain uses distributed network. So this is a traditional approach. Like do assume that there are two friends and they want to communicate or they want to transfer the money from one account to another account. So at that point of time, if I want to pay to my friend, so my request will be transmitted to the bank server. For example, if I'm using State Bank of India's account, so in that case, SBI server will be the intermediator between me and my friends. So every request will be transmitted via this SBI server. This is a traditional approach, normal approach, as we all know that, right? But in blockchain, it's not like that. In blockchain, there will be absence of the intermediator or the central party, or like direct communication is going to happen in the blockchain approach. Why? Because the thing is that if I talk about this approach, traditional approach, let's go for now our financial transactions using our banks. So at that time, you know that for NEFT or any kind of transactions, there will be a specific charges required, right? So even for the ATMs, even for the usage of bulk SMS, even for the usage of internet banking. So because of all these factors, there are charges incurred on us by the banks. So such things should not be there. So with this approach, there is absence of intermediate server in the blockchain. Again, there is a concept like centralized ledger and distributed ledger. Centralized ledger indicates like now, like you can get the mini statements, right? Mini statement of your financial transactions from your bank. Is it like that? That such transactions are stored in your mobile or in on your laptop? It's not like that. You are going to fetch it from the bank server, and bank server is nothing but a centralized entity. So that is your centralized ledger. Okay. Now, if I talk about distributed ledger, in distributed ledger, it's not like that. In distributed ledger, everyone will be having everyone's other data. Like, for example, if I talk about this specific node, this node will be having its own data as well as it will be having the data of this machine, this node, and this node. So everyone will be having everyone's other data. Yes, of course, you might be surprised. Like then, if I'm having data of others or others are having data of mine, then where is the privacy, right? So it's not like that. Even though I am having the data of others, but there will be access privileges. I'll not be able to access the data. That data will be stored in my machine or my node, but I'll not be able to access data. Only I'll be there to access the data of mine itself. So this distributed ledger is there. So blockchain is using this distributed ledger, this kind of technique to store the data. Now, why we are supposed to go with the blockchain? The first thing is that validate. In blockchain, every transaction, whatever you do in the blockchain, every transaction will be validated first. If it is validated, then only the transaction will proceed. Else, the transaction won't get proceed. Second thing is that consensus. Consensus indicates like it's a mutual agreement among all the nodes of the network who decides whether the specific transaction is valid or not valid. There are multiple types of consensus. Consensus will not go in deeper into that, but it's a mutual kind of algorithm. Mutual algorithm will be there. That algorithm will decide that whether the specific transaction is valid or not. If the consensus is saying transaction is not valid, then transaction is not going to get proceed. Then security is there. Every transaction is encrypted and the hash value of every transaction will be calculated. So because of such hashing algorithms and encryption algorithms, we can say that it is much secure. And the last part is that immutability principle is there. It means that no one can delete anything from the blockchain. Like for example, like you might have heard the digital records have been modified, changed, or stolen. Talk about like recent cases, FIR cases from Mantralaya, it was being burnt, or the uh, data was being manipulated. Such things won't be there in the blockchain. Blockchain में ऐसा कुछ होता नहीं है. So because of this, all these things, four factors: validation, consensus, security, and immutability. So in general, the procedure will be like this one. So someone has to suppose initiate the transaction first. Of course, if I want to perform a transaction, it will be initiated. That transaction request will be broadcasted to every other node in the network. Then, as I said, that every transaction will be validated because of consensus. So depending upon the consensus algorithm, that transitions will be verified first. After verification, then all such transitions will be combined together into a single block. one virtual block will be there where all such transactions will be combined together. And after combining, that block will be added to the existing blockchain, and we can say that transaction is complete. So this is the whole scenario of this blockchain. So I think that this is your blockchain, existing blockchain. Now, whenever such transaction will be there after validation, after clubbing it together, then all such transactions. Okay. Now, the most important part is there. Like there are types of the blockchain depending upon the two factors. First factor is that conditional transfer capabilities. So depending upon that, we are having type 1, type 2, and type 3. Type 1 indicates it is just mentioning the cryptocurrencies. Only cryptocurrency part will be there. The best example is the Bitcoin. Second part is there. There will be a cryptocurrency as well as will be able to program our logic. So the example of that is Ethereum. And third type is there where there like there is no involvement of any kind of cryptocurrencies or the tokens, but will be able to code it perfectly like multiple languages are there depending upon the different platforms. You can have the second factor of the types of blockchain is that based on the access limits or permissible, or some of the times are also it is called as consortium blockchain. Public indicates like anyone in the world can join that blockchain. Download the Bitcoin software and you can connect it to the Bitcoin network. Private indicates like let's just take example of our Pimpri Chinchwad University. So if I have developed any blockchain for the Pimpri Chinchwad University, it means that only the stakeholders of this PCU or Pimpri Chinchwad University will be able to have access to that blockchain. So the students, faculty members, non-teaching staff, only belonging to PCU will be able to access the blockchain. That is called as a private blockchain. So it will be accessible only within the organization. Now, if I talk about the permissible is nothing but the hybrid of public and private. So let's take example of like all the private universities in the Maharashtra. Okay, so if they go for implementation of the blockchain for all the private universities in the Maharashtra, then it is public in the sense that every stakeholder of every private university in Maharashtra will be able to access the blockchain. And it will be private in the sense that if there is a private university outside the Maharashtra, then such stakeholders will not be able to have access to that blockchain. Okay, so that's it for the basics. Now let's go for like hashing. Interestingly, I'm going with one-on-one concepts. So later on, we'll be able to have the idea like what exactly blockchain means. So let's try to understand the difference between hashing and encryption, because most of the time there is a confusion like whether the hashing and encryption are the same or not. If I talk about the encryption, then do assume that this data hello world a sample sentence to show encryption. Now there are multiple encryption algorithms. So let's forget about like which algorithm is being implemented over here. But there is a concept of key. Using that key, we can encrypt our data. Okay, so after using that key, then you can observe this hello world, whatever the text was there, that has been converted into the such random words, random letters, sorry, right? So here from this text, I'm not able to like read the clear message. So that is called as encryption, right? But at the same time, using the same key or any other mechanism, I can decrypt it. Matlab, like will be able to retrieve the original message from the encrypted message. That is called as decryption. So that happens in encryption. But hashing is only one way, guys. One way in the sense like if I apply the hash algorithm, I'll be able to get some encoding message like this one. But I'll never be able to retrieve the original message from this one. In encryption, it was not like that. It was two-way. I was able to encrypt it as well as I was able to decrypt it. But in hash algorithm, just I'll be able to hash it, but not dehash it. Okay. Now, so these are few like examples like where hash algorithm will be used. Now, every employee, like most of the employees, not every employee, but most of the private organization employees go for like biometric attendance when they enter into the campus, and while leaving that, punch in, punch out, right? So over there, whenever we go for like thumbprint, of course, one of our sample will be taken, but every time it's not possible to store the data of our image. So your image will be converted to hash value. Okay, then password storage, like you might have heard, like most of the banking websites says that we don't store your passwords. It means that whenever you enter the password, that password will be converted into a specific hash value, and of course that hash value will be stored into into their server. And now you know that DHash is not possible for like retrieving the original content. Just we have seen that. So that's why they say that we don't know your password. We just convert your password into a specific hash value, and it will be stored. So, because of using this hash application, there are multiple applications over here. So, this is the mechanism over here, guys. Look, hash. Assume that this is the password. I am hash 4VKU. If I apply any hash algorithm, then I'll be getting hash value. Then that hash value will be stored over here in the database. And next time, whenever I'm supposed to log in, अगर मैं फिर से log in कर रहा हूँ, then at that time again same hash algorithm will be used, same thing will be there, hash key will be there, but now this hash key will be compared with the stored one. ये store किया था हमने, right? So this will be compared. If that hash is matching exactly, it means that password was correct. So the hash value will be used to verify the contents always, like this one. These are the available options. For every software, there will be like hash value, which gives us like confirmation whether the specific software or any product is genuine or not. So let's try to understand the cryptographic hash function. So if you want to deploy any blockchain application, you are supposed to use the hash algorithm. And whenever you are supposed to use the hash algorithm, you are supposed to remember it should be having these 6 properties. So let's talk with actual implementation. Yes. So first thing is that deterministic. It means that if I enter the message multiple number of times, same hash value should be observed. For example, let's have a look. If I press A, now I'm getting this hash value. I'm using SHA-256 algorithm right now. So CA is there. Yes, of course, we cannot remember the whole hash value, right? But just focus on first 2 letters and last 2 letters. First two is CA and last two double B, right? So CA BB is there. Again, if I delete it, again I press A, again I'll be getting the same message. CA BB, right? Hello. To see 24, right? Again, let's delete that. Then again, hello to see 24, right? Same message should be there. Quick, quick calculation of the hash value should be there. You can observe that as I'm entering the random letters, you can observe in milliseconds, your hash value is going to be changed, right? So it should be fast like this one. One way function indicates like from this.
Internet गया मीटिंग डिस्कनेक्टेड हो इंटरनेट इशू है बंद नहीं हो रहा
So even a minor change in the hash value. Then collision resistant is there. Resistant means there should not be two messages which will be having same hash value. It is not it should not be never like that. And pre-image direct register is the same thing. Like from hash function, I should not be able to get the original message. So these are few examples like shard, ripe MD, etc. of hashing algorithms. Now let's go for hashing blockchain.
कोई सोशल वेबसाइट नहीं चल रहा है लाइट बंद करो वेबसाइट इसका ऑन है
So here there is a Merkle root. So in Merkle root, what you are supposed to do, like uh, every transition will be hashed. Now just you have seen the hash, right? So every transition will be applied with the hash algorithm. After getting hash, again hash A and hash B will be combined together to get another hash. And same thing will be done for every transactions. After all, if I go to the root level, it will be the hash of all the transactions. So Bitcoin is this SHA-256 algorithm, hashing algorithm. And if I talk about like Ethereum, it will use KCHA-256 algorithm. Now let's try to understand how hashing is relevant to the blockchain. So let's take example like there is a group of friends where the transactions, like if I give the some money to my friend, so such transactions are recorded into the Excel sheet. Do assume that. So these are the transactions. And gave 3 coins to Mary. Mary gives 5 coins to Jack. So these are the few transactions. But there is one person, one of their friend, like he wants to manipulate the transaction because whatever the records were written, he wants to fake it. So what he has done, like instead of Jack, he has erased, and instead of Jack, he has rewritten Mary to give the false transaction. Okay, but as I was maintaining the transactions, I could know that there is something wrong in the Excel sheet. So someone has changed Mary over the Jack. So what I've done, I've gone for this strategy. So just we have seen hash algorithm. So उसमें क्या होता है कि I picked one and I calculated the hash value for every transaction. But whoever was manipulating the transaction, he was clever enough. He identified which hash algorithm I was using that. Then what he has done, again he has changed the transaction. Like Mary gave 5 was there, so he replaced 8. And of course, just we have seen, अगर मैंने space भी दबाया था वहां पे, so पूरा hash value change हुआ था, right? So again, total hash value will be changed and new hash value he has written that. But I could know that whatever the transaction was there again is been manipulated. Then what I have done, I have gone for this kind of technique. So the thing is that over here, Anne gave 10 coins to Mary, and I have calculated the hash value of that. But while calculating the hash of next transaction, what I've done, ये जो hash थी, that hash I have taken over here, same hash, right? Then while calculating the hash value of this transaction, I have considered the previous hash value as well as the current transaction. और दोनों को मिला के मैंने hash value calculate किया है. Same thing is done. E37, this hash value I have taken it over here. Again, I have calculated the hash value. And same thing is going to be repeated. So, जो भी manipulate कर रहा है transaction, then what he needs to do, like if he wants to change, like Mary gave 5 coins. Instead of that 5 coins, if he wants to go for like 8 coins. अगर उसे ये change करना है, definitely this hash value is going to be changed. If this hash value is changed, यही hash value तो यहाँ पे लेनी थी ना, right? So यही यहाँ पे अगर मैं ले लेता हूँ, then of course there will be change in this hash value as well. Same will be continued to the last transaction. So it will be a little bit difficult now. So of course it is going to take too much effort. So possibly वो करना छोड़ देगा मैनिपुलेट ट्रांजेक्शंस, लेकिन वो भी जिद्दी था. सो व्हाट ही हैज डन, अगेन ही हैज डन मैनिपुलेट द ट्रांजेक्शन. उसके बाद में मैंने क्या किया, लाइक व्हाट आई हैव डन, यू कैन ऑब्जर्व दैट आई हैव टेकन द रैंडम नंबर्स 451 13 467 56, right? Now you can also observe there is a unique pattern into the hash values. In every hash value, last two digits are 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Right? So, अगर मुझे कुछ चेंज करना है यहाँ पे, like मेरी गेम 8 coins अगर मुझे लिखना है, so of course total hash value is going to be changed, but there is no guarantee that that hash value will be having last two zeros. अगर वो मुझे यूनिक पैटर्न लाना है, then randomly मुझे ऐसे नंबर्स यहाँ पे पुट करने चाहिए, like from 1 2 3 4 5 6, I need to consider from scratch 1 to like 19, जब तक लास्ट टू डिजिट्स जीरो नहीं आते तब तक. So these are the random numbers, उसे हम नॉन्स बोलते हैं. ओके, सो राइट नाउ अगर मुझे चेंज करना है तो कौन करते बैठे, राइट? चलो मानो कि that I have identified a specific number and because of that I have got the last two digits as zero as well. But same thing needs to be repeated for this transaction as well, because अगर ये चेंज होता है सेम हैश वैल्यू मुझे यहाँ पे लेनी पड़ेगी and again hash value will be changed, right? So again I need to identify the specific number which will give me last two digits as zero. So now it's the hectic task. So in such a way, transactions will be stored into the blockchain. That's why I said earlier that there is no chance that the transactions are going to be deleted or changed in the blockchain. These are immutable one. So in this way now, if I come to here, like ब्लॉक 2 में ब्लॉक 1 का हैश होगा, ब्लॉक 3 में ब्लॉक 2 का हैश होगा, ब्लॉक 4 में ब्लॉक 3 का हैश होगा. That's why these all blocks are connected or chained with this hash value. That's why this one is called as blockchain. So this is the concept over here. Now I hope that you have got little bit idea about what exactly blockchain is. Now let's go for the opportunities within that. So intentionally I have gone for like career paths of that. So if you enter into the blockchain domain, you are supposed to have the knowledge of like basic computer systems, computer networks, distributed networks, and cryptography and information security. If you are having this basic knowledge of these subjects, then you can come to the blockchain technology domain. And here, depending upon your interest, you can have the multiple career paths. Now, these are the few platforms or the domains in the blockchain technology where you can get a proper job. If you choose to Ethereum, then you'll be having job as blockchain developer, blockchain architect, blockchain consultant. If you go for the cryptocurrency, because there is a lot of crowd or mob who is interested in the crypto world. So if you want to be in cryptocurrency world, then you can have the job opportunities as Bitcoin consultant or trader or Bitcoin miner, investment banker. Multiple roles are there. So what I've done, if you want to enter into the cryptocurrency domain, then these are the things you are supposed to know. If you want to go as a hyperledger developer, then these are the things you are supposed to know. Now there is also boom of like metaverse. In metaverse, we can have the multiple virtual games, right? Along with that, we can integrate with the blockchain as well to get the proper rewards over there. So if you want to be in the metaverse, then you can have the job roles as metaverse architect, virtual world developer, metaverse programmer, VR AR experience designer. So likewise, as per your interest, because the thing is that it's not like that ki, you have entered in the blockchain domain and just there is a job role like blockchain developer. ऐसा नहीं है. Because few of the some of the mob is like interested in the handling crypto world or handling the games in the blockchain, or if you want to be the blockchain developer, or if you want to be the legal advisor in the blockchain domain. So likewise, depending upon your interest, you can choose your career path in blockchain technology. Again over here, if you go for the legal issues, because again, if you talk about the cryptocurrency, in few of the countries cryptocurrency is legal, in few of the cryptocurrency is just a legal tender but not as a cryptocurrency, and in few countries cryptocurrency is totally banned. So there is also scope, like because of this legality issues you can have job roles like blockchain legal consultant, blockchain compliance officer, blockchain regulatory analyst, or even IP lawyer in the blockchain domain. So there are multiple things over here. Even you'll be able to know like smart contract audits. So auditor is the also role, then NFT is there, and then use cases are there. So you, depending upon the use cases, you can have the multiple roles over here. So if you go in the NFT, you can be the blockchain architect, project manager, Ethereum expert. And if you go as per the use cases like finance ka use cases samjho, then you can be the finance professional, finance manager, bank manager. Or if you are in like healthcare domain mein ho aap, in blockchain domain, then you can be the healthcare administrator as well. So these are the different roles over here. Yes, of course, you should also be aware about the different certifications in the blockchain domain. These are the few certifications as per your interest. अगर आपको developer as a developer join करना है in Ethereum platform, then you can have the like different certifications like this one. These are the global certifications. So these are global recognized. If you want to enter into the crypto world, you can have the cryptocurrency uh, certifications like this one. For hyperledgers, metaverse, blockchain legal issues, interoperable blockchain, where I'm working right now. This is my research domain. Then decentralized applications, NFTs. So these are the multiple certifications which are available. Even I'm also having like tentative cost of this every certifications. So PCU offers you the one of the elective as a blockchain over here. So it will be a very good idea. We are also having faculty members in the blockchain domain, which will guide who will guide you in the blockchain, different blockchain domains, different career paths in the blockchain. So that's it from my side for the blockchain. If you are having any queries, please feel free to ask. Okay, I hope there are no further questions. Even if you are having any questions, you can put your question into the chat box. Okay, then thanks. Sharon ma'am, over to you.